Zane and the Hurricane, A Story of Katrina, by Rodman Philbrick. Chapter 29. If a Good Dog Dies. Next thing I'm on my knees cradling him, and there's blood all over. His eyes are open, but he's not barking or whining or anything, which seems like a very bad sign. I start screaming at the cops and at the whole rotten world. Bandy's teeth are bared, and his eyes are unfocused and distant. His face is a grimace of pain. His right paw looks like a raspberry jam. He's dying, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. It was an accident, someone says. One of the cops, I don't know which one. In the background, Malvina's shouting, "You shot my friend! You shot my friend!" I notice she says friend, not dog, which I'll never, ever forget. I'm watching the light dim in Bandy's eyes when a stranger pushes her way through the ring of cops, telling them to get back. She's a doctor. One of the cops makes the mistake of saying, "It's only a dog, lady," and this woman glares at him like she's the sun and he's an ice cube about to melt. She's short, round, black lady with chocolate skin and close-cropped, frizzy hair and round glasses that make her eyes look as big as brown eggs. "This is my family," she announces firmly. "You will step back and give me room to treat my family." And they do. They step back, all these cops with their shotguns and shiny black boots and bulletproof vests. Nobody says a word. Even Malvina keeps quiet while the woman places her hand on Bandy's neck and nods to herself, as if she knows exactly what must be done and how to do it. "Keep pressure on the wounds," she instructs me. "We have to move fast." She asks the cop to help her make room in this rusty old van she has. It's loaded up with empty dog kennels and cat carriers. After setting some of the cages on the curb, the cops help Mr. True into the front passenger seat, and me and Malvina get in the back with Bandy. A moment later, the cops wave us through the toll booth. "Belinda," the old man says, "I didn't know you was a doctor." She snorts. "I'm not, but you are my family. That part was true." You probably figured it out right away. The round woman with the air of authority is Mr. True's cousin Belinda. Turns out she had evacuated the animals in her animal shelter to this place outside of Baton Rouge, and was on her way back to check on her house in Algiers, which, as it turns out, is one of the few areas that didn't flood when the levees failed. She's waiting on the traffic to get through the toll booths when she sees what she describes as this big fuss on the bridge. "Didn't know who it was until I recognized that crazy hat of yours," she says. "This my lucky hat," he says, holding it up by the battered brim. "Lucky? Are you serious?" "I'm still here, ain't I? And it brought you to us, didn't it? But it won't really be a lucky hat unless you save that little dog." "I'll do my best," she says. She reaches over the seat and hands me an elastic band. "Put that around his leg, just below the joint. Then wrap him in that insulated blanket, the one by your feet." All I can do is nod and obey. Seems like forever, but probably within a few minutes we're in the driveway of this gray, cinder-block building with frosted glass windows and a neon sign that says "Last Chance Animal Shelter." Next thing we're in the building, and Belinda drops her keys on the counter. "Follow me," she says. Bandy's wrapped in the insulated blanket, but he's shivering as I gently place him on the metal examination table. The light is dim, the electricity is out, and Malvina holds a flashlight as Belinda bustles around, chattering as she goes. Okay, here we go. Here we be. The dog is Bandit, correct? And you're Zane Dupree from New Hampshire? I got that much. Trudell says Trissy Jackson is your great-grandmother, correct? Small world. I knew your father, Gerald. Okay, now to business. Here we go. First, lift up the edge of the blanket. I want to check Bandit's heartbeat." She places a stethoscope on his chest and listens, eyes squinting slightly. "Not bad, considering. He's going into shock. Can't stop that, but we can keep him warm and make sure he doesn't dehydrate while we deal with his wounds. You are this dog's guardian, is that correct? Fine. Excellent. In the interest of full disclosure, I am not a veterinarian. The vet who volunteers at this shelter is presently in Nashville visiting her family. But I am an RVT, a registered veterinary technician, licensed in the state of Louisiana, and I've learned a thing or two over the years. Now, and this is important, do I have your permission to treat Bandy to the best of my abilities?" I nod permission. "We'll have to take it one step at a time," she says with a reassuring nod. "Step 1, start an IV. Step 2, administer sedation. Step 3, clean and treat Bandit's wounds, which are multiple and serious. Young lady, Malvina, is that correct? Yes? Can you continue to hold that flashlight? Excellent. Zane, would you please go back to the reception area and make sure Trudell is okay? Give him water, make him comfortable. Malvina and I will take care of Bandit, and then we'll see if there's anything we can do for Trudell's foot. Lots of footwork today, but that's okay. We can handle it. And Zane, don't forget to breathe. I never knew waiting could be so hard. In the waiting area, Mr. True had propped himself in a chair. He tries his best to distract me with stories about his little cousin Belinda that lived next door, in the other half of what he calls a camelback house on Charbonnet Street, not far from my great-grandmother's house, and how little Belinda started rescuing animals when she was a small child and then made it her life's work. Some of his stories are funny, especially one about a kitten and a parakeet, but all I can think about is Bandy, Bandy, Bandy. How much I had always wanted a dog, and how long it took me to persuade my mother to let me have one. I kept asking, and Mom kept saying, no way. I wasn't old enough to take care of an animal, and she was too busy because she works full-time and like that. No dog, no way, so quit asking. But I didn't quit asking. I made it my mission in life to get a dog. I took out books from the library about dog training and dog grooming. Mom kept shaking her head and saying books are great, but she wasn't about to change her mind. If I couldn't clean up my own room, how was I going to clean up after a dog? So I cleaned my room. I mean, really cleaned it, okay? Not just picked up all my stuff, but vacuumed everything, and even washed the windows. That really shocked Mom, that I'd washed the windows, but she wouldn't change her mind. So then I went online and found the results of a medical study proving that owning a dog improved your health. Mom rolled her eyes. I wish you'd put all that energy and brain power into your schoolwork, she said, instead of wasting it on something that's never going to happen. So I did, and I got A's that semester, and a note from my teacher saying I was much improved. Mom was so totally amazed that for once she didn't know what to say, and that's when I got down on my knees and raised up my hands like they were paws and barked, "Arf, arf, I'm a dog and you love me, promise, promise, arf, arf." That was it. She caved, although I didn't know it for sure until the next week, my birthday, when she woke me up early and said, "Rise and shine, young man, we don't have all day." And we drove to the SPCA, and there he was, this eager little ball of black and white puppy fur that crawled up into my arms and licked my face. Bandy, short for Bandit. He knew his name right away. Every time I said Bandy, he'd bark, wag his straight-up tail like, "Yes, that's me." Mom said I could have called him Dirtbag and had the same result, but right away she loved him too, because you can't not love a puppy. And when she saw him following me around, not letting me out of his sight, she said, "He's your dog, that's for sure. Bandy belongs to you, and you belong to him, and don't you forget it, young man." Not that I ever could. So I'm waiting and waiting, my brain full of Bandy, Bandy, Bandy. And after about 1,000,000 years, Belinda finally comes out of the examination room with a smile. There's an old saying, "When a good dog dies, the angels cry," she says. I'm happy to report there will be no crying today. Takes me a while to speak, but finally I swallow hard and go, "So he'll be okay?" "Affirmative," she says. "He had several shotgun pellets embedded in his chest, and he lost part of one paw, but a dog can get along on 3 legs almost as good as 4, especially a dog as low to the ground as Bandit." Mr. True puts on his battered old top hat, tugs it firmly into place, and gives me a big grin. "Told you this was my lucky hat," he says.